Well, to discuss this further, I'm now being joined by Yemi Adamolekun, who is the Executive Director. Enough is Enough Nigeria. Yemi, thanks for your time. Now, Nigeria's elections are about 26 days away. Help us make sense, or rather appraise the decision of the electoral umpire INEC to extend the collection of permanent voter cards by 1 week.
Thank you, Suleiman. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, I can hear you, Yemi.
Fantastic. I'm not sure that INEC had a chance, or had an option rather, because there were just too many complaints about people's, not just, so it's not a function of, we emphasize the PVC cards that are uncollected, but there's also the other side of it, which is people showing up to pick up their PVCs, but not being able to do so. There were several complaints about people just being told not found, with INEC not seemingly even looking for it. So literally, they would just be written on their slip, not found, because INEC officials knew that the cards hadn't arrived. So if you take Lagos, which was your focus, they issued a statement last week that the final batch of cards have arrived. But on Saturday, they were still telling people to come back this week to check, which means more cards are still going to arrive. So that really is the challenge. It's not the uncollected PVCs, even though that's one part of it, but it's more people who are showing up and INEC does not have cards to give them.
And yeah, this is another, issue you just raised now. Looking at the time given for the extension, do you think it is enough to bridge the gap between that movement to the destination where the electorate will be picking up the card?
To be honest, Suleiman, it's just hard to know what the challenge is. So is it that INEC is forgetting to print cards for some people? Is it that the cards are being lost in transit? Is it that they didn't print the cards in the first place? So it's hard to find a solution to a problem when you don't know what exactly the problem is. And INEC hasn't been very honest with what this problem is. And then you see videos circulating. It's illegal to collect cards by proxy, but that's happening across the country wantonly. Now, for you to collect a card by proxy, an INEC official has to be in the loop, because who gave you the card? So my co-worker, for example, in Lagos was telling me in her neighborhood that an APC, and I'm going to mention names, an APC bus was going around telling people that if you registered in this school down the road, come out of your house. So they were in a bus down her street telling people to come out because they had the people's cards. And they were actually handing them. So if you come out of your house and say that this is my name is Suleiman Alede, maybe you show ID that is you, and they have your card, they will give you your card. There's a video circulating, I believe it's from Enugu. A lady, I don't know how she got the cards, got people's cards, and is now asking them to pay, I don't know if it's 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira for her logistics, because she's done the work to go and collect the cards on your behalf. So if you want your card, pay me 2,000. And it was being recorded. Now, so these are the things for me, that if INEC doesn't track down who that woman is, for example, find out how she got the cards and prosecute her and the person that gave her the cards, then they're not fair. And that's why people's cards are unavailable, because we don't know who has collected them by proxy or who is hiding them.
Well, that's not the first time you and your team at Enough is Enough have gone around monitoring election before, during, and after. So let's talk about the preparation towards this election. How would you gauge it, looking at INEC and plus the security?
Well, I think INEC is going to get a lot of people upset if we don't solve this voters thing. Because we made a lot of noise around go and register to vote, is your civic right, blah, 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 blah. So I've done that. Now I want to vote. The law says I need a PVC to vote, and you're not giving it to me. So INEC hasn't been very clear around what it's planning to do to ensure that people can vote. So that's one part of the challenge. The second challenge is, as we unravel what happened with the Osun case, what does that mean for Beavers? For a lot of people, Beavers was a pseudo silver bullet, solved all problems. But now we see that, again, it's a machine, it's a tool. Humans can compromise it. So there's a lot of learning to be unpacked from the Osun case. And that's obviously there's a lot of people writing about what they think happened or didn't happen, how it happened. But that needs to be unpacked properly so that both citizens and civil society organizations that will be observing pay attention to how this can happen. Security.
All right, let's
as we know.
focus on, sorry to cut you there, Yemi. Let's focus quickly here on the governorship debate that took place in Lagos on Sunday for candidates seeking to govern the state. The incumbent governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu of the All Progressives Congress, was absent, and he gave reasons. But President Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour of the Labour Party, Abdulaziz Adediran of the PDP, and Olufunso Doherty of the African Democratic Congress. Now, your thoughts on the submissions of the candidates, please.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Your thoughts on the submissions of the candidates on the day.
I think I had the privilege of actually being in the audience yesterday night. And I think the incumbent didn't do himself any favors by not showing up. And I tied to security. I mean, the last point I was going to make around readiness for elections was security and the challenges that we have in different parts of the country. Governor Sanwo-Olu gave his reason by not being there around the fact that given what had happened at the shooting in Surulere, he didn't want to be where PDP members would be. But I'm sorry, that's a huge indictment. You are the chief security officer of the state. In that statement, you've basically said that you cannot secure yourself because the debate is you coming to a closed venue with 3 other candidates and an audience. But you issued a statement saying that because one candidate will be there, I cannot secure myself. Therefore, I will not be there. Yet you're the chief security officer of the state. And unfortunately, I don't think the other candidates actually really took that on as much as they should have. Because if the governor cannot secure himself, you have military access, you have police, you have DSS, you roll around in a convoy of almost 20 cars. You're coming to a debate and you can't secure yourself. What are the rest of us Lagosians supposed to do when things like this happen? Who do we call? What's the emergency number? Are the police going to show up for us if the governor is telling us that he can't secure himself? But that's one bit. But the other candidates, I think, really kind of spoke very well, I think, and played to their strengths. Jandor, the PDP candidate, knew Lagos very well. He was given numbers, he was given names of roads, names of locations, and things that he would do specifically. And I also like the fact that he referred to some of the things that had been done in the past that were kind of moribund, that he would start, like pipe-borne water. Fashola had started. He would kick-start it as a low-hanging fruit. Funso Doherty of the ADC, very clear, private sector experience. So this is a man that you can trust the billions of Lagos to. Has managed pension funds, 3 different businesses as a CEO. So he brought that to the fore very clearly. Money doesn't scare him. He's managed money, has the reputation of being someone that has character and integrity, and that also came through. And lastly, Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour, probably the youngest of the candidates on stage, an architect. And I think that also came through in his discussions about building in Lagos, the challenges we have of reclaiming land that's going to cause flooding in other parts of the state as we block pipes and things of that nature. So it was good to hear the different candidates speak. And all 3 of them have a lot to give to the state. So people should pay attention to who it is that they'd like to vote for.
Yemi Adamolekun, I'd like to thank you for your time as always.
Thank you very much for having me.